Hello, today I will show you how to replace the handbrake disc without splitting the tractor. So, the very first thing that we are going to need to do here is to properly secure the front drive shaft by carefully removing the small metal circlip located right here. It holds the outer race from the housing of the bearing. Once we successfully remove it from its position, we need to construct a specialized type of slide hammer. And by pulling with force, we have to forcefully yank out the entire internal shaft. Remember that there are also adjustment shims in there, so be careful not to lose them during reassembly and make sure to put them all back in. We need to remove the shaft because otherwise we won't be able to take out the discs as the shaft will get in the way. Right now the tractor is split in half here, but this can also be done without splitting the tractor. In that case it's located under the oil pan. This housing is fixed, self-mounted. That's why we need to remove the bearing and pull out the shaft this way. Moving forward to the next step, starting from the handbrake side, we carefully unscrew the suction filter assembly to gain full access to the internal components here. After that is complete, we proceed to unscrew the entire protective housing where the handbrake lever mechanism is currently located. We unscrew this cover with 2 bolts, which is held by 4 screws. Then we need to pull out the pin. We have to unlock the retaining ring, the circlip, and then the pin will come out. The pin has been unlocked. Now we can remove the lever. After removing it, we unscrew the next lever. On the lever, there is a nut that will make assembly easier for us later. We will know exactly how far to screw in this bolt. Next, once we have this removed, we need to unscrew like this. 4 screws on the outside and 2 screws inside to remove this cover. Once we've removed the cover, the handbrake expander is visible. The drum has been removed. Next, we need to unscrew the plastic cover. It is fastened around the perimeter with 3 M6 screws. It's best to do this with a socket wrench and an extension. Once we unscrew it, it will have to lie here somewhere to the side. It will get in our way a bit, but we can't take it out because it doesn't fit through the opening. So it just has to stay here. Through this opening, we can remove the front drive engagement and disengagement clutch. We have to be careful not to damage anything in there, especially the rubber seal. And it comes out for us through this opening. This is the front drive clutch. I was talking about this seal, and there are also Teflon rings there, which you also need to watch out for. Next, you need to slide off the clamp. To break the spreader. Then, by reaching through these 2 specific openings, we have to carefully unscrew the entire spreader mechanism, due to the fact that there are several discs positioned between them. Between these screws, there are spacer washers, a longer bushing and several spacers. You have to remember not to lose these spacer washers. Now we turn it. We maneuver this and turn it so that we can somehow unscrew the other bolts. Now we unscrew the second one. Well, I must say that this is absolutely and utterly unexpected, leaving me completely stunned and at a total loss for words as I tried to process what just happened right before my very eyes. Alright. These nuts are in inches, so don't lose them because it'll be a problem later. We have already unscrewed the 3 bolts that are used to hold the fixed discs in place. We pull out the bolts. Remember about these washers so they don't get lost. These are adjustment washers. It's the clearance between the discs. There's still one more bolt left to remove. One disc is already out. Unfortunately, it's not easy. We can't take the disc out through this opening because it's a larger diameter. We have to remove it. On the other side, there's a cover behind the fuel tank. You need to unscrew the fuel tank and that cover. Or we can do it from this side by removing the distributor, disassembling all the hydraulics and unscrewing this cover here where the parking lock is. I've always taken it out from the other side because I didn't want to here. There's a lot of unscrewing of all these hydraulic lines. Cables, plastics, there's a lot to unscrew here, while on the other side we only have the tank and that cover. Then I'll show the disc. It should be removed through the opening you can see on the right side. It's behind the fuel tank. For this, we still need to unscrew these bolts, take out 2 of them. They hold the disc in place. They will get in the way when removing the disc. The disc will catch on them, so we have to unscrew them. And we pull the disc out through this opening. It should come out now somehow. I might have to maneuver it a bit. Access is a bit difficult here because the wheel is... If the wheel wasn't there, it would be much easier. You have to position it this way. There, and the disc comes out. You just have to position it correctly. The disc is out. Yes. The next one is out. This is what it looks like from the inside after disassembly. To put it back together, you really have to maneuver a lot. This is a task for patient people. This is what the handbrake caliper looks like once it's removed. I want to show what it looks like to make it easier to understand what's going on. We unscrew these bolts just like I did before through hole number 3 using a size 10 wrench and remove this cover during assembly. It's important to note that these holes are not arranged symmetrically, so we can't put it on the other way around, and you can't see that there. We need to be aware of this, that's why I'm mentioning it. That they only fit in one position. Just like this, as it fits now. You can't put it on any other way. The front drive clutch can be left inside there or taken out, depending on your preference. If you take it out, you need to be careful with this oil seal so you don't damage it. And those front rings that are on the shaft there, I'll show you later. Now then, this is how it looked. I unscrewed all these bolts. Actually, I had to unscrew 3 bolts in total. Around the circumference of this clamp, because here are the fixed discs, here are the movable discs, and here is the spreader. So I'm unscrewing these bolts. 3 of them, through those holes that were visible earlier. I take out these bolts, and now there are these spacer sleeves, and between these sleeves there are adjustment washers, which set the clearance between the discs and the pressure plate. You have to remember to install as many as there were after replacing the disc, right? That's right, that's how it should be, so you don't lose any of them. We take all of this out. Right? Oh, and now we can remove the discs, both of them. There are 2 discs. Here you can see in my case that there was already a problem here. And I had an issue with this brake because these discs are already a bit too thin, so I'll put in new ones while I'm at it. And you have to remember this during assembly. There's still one more screw holding it. It'll be easier this way so that... There's also another pin that has to go here between the spreader and the disc. And you have to remember that. Because inside, where access is really tight, you have to line everything up and put it together. And later when we insert the whole caliper, this side is on the lever side and this side is on the reservoir side. And there you also have to align this hole, this notch, with the protruding screws so that it locks in place. So that's how it looks. Remember, these screws are imperial, so don't lose them. Nuts and bolts. That will be a problem. Here you can see the screws that I unscrewed earlier because they were in the way of removing the disc. Here we have further. My battery is low. This is a spacer washer, so make sure it doesn't get lost somewhere. And with these first flange nuts, you need to be careful not to damage them. And when we put it back together, we have to aim it just right. Later, with the whole brake caliper, here I have only one part. I'll show you what I mean so that it lines up perfectly and rests right against these small screws. This is very important.